It's a brilliant setup of comedy and chaos that swerves into tragedy. Hi everyone, welcome back to John Florio channel. I am Mary and I'm here to talk about the great John Florio. Hi guys, I hope you are all well. Please subscribe to this channel. The only way you have to keep supporting me is to subscribe. It's for free. So share these videos with your friends, with your relatives, with people who love Shakespeare and would like to know more about him, about John Florio. In the last videos, I talked about the connection between Shakespeare and Commedia dell'arte, and in particular between Shakespeare and the Italian Shakespeare, Ruzzante, Angelo Beolco. I show you the textual similarities between Ruzzante and some dialogues in Shakespeare's plays, and how John Florio knew Ruzzante very well. He used Ruzzante language and words in his plays. Today I would like to keep talking about this beautiful connection about Shakespeare and Commedia dell'arte, but from another intriguing perspective. In the last video I left the video with a question. There is a tragedy of Shakespeare that contains elements of Commedia dell'arte, characters of Commedia dell'arte, and some of you got the answer right. The tragedy is Othello. We often think about Othello as a grand romantic tragedy, a tale of love, jealousy and devastating betrayal. But what if we have been looking at it all wrong? Today I would like to make a compelling case that Othello may have been heavily influenced by Commedia dell'arte. Yes, the improvisational comic theatre that was widely popular in Italy when Shakespeare was writing. Possibly Shakespeare may have built Othello as a satiric comedy, but one that suddenly twists as a tragedy at the end. But let's start with Commedia dell'arte. As I told you before in the last video, Commedia dell'arte was booming. This style relied on improvised dialogue, stock characters like scheming servants, boastful soldiers and slapstick humor. It was raw, bold and incredibly popular. Troupes performed everywhere in Italy, cities, squares, courts and even abroad. For Othello, Shakespeare may have borrowed from Commedia dell'arte. I'm talking about the characters of the tragedy, because the characters of Othello closely resembles that of Commedia dell'arte. Let's make a list. Iago plays the convincing Zanni, the trickster servant. Othello may portrays Capitano, a character of Commedia dell'arte who is brave but sometimes is gullible. Desdemona is similar to Innamorata, a character of Commedia dell'arte who is an innocent lover. Roderigo represents the fool, who is a role of Commedia dell'arte characterized to make the audience laugh. This may explain the exaggerated behavior, comic misunderstandings, and fast-paced chaos that unfolds in the tragedy. They are all trademarks of Commedia dell'arte. But this time Shakespeare makes a twist. Instead of ending with a joyful marriage or comeuppance, as usually in Commedia dell'arte happens, Shakespeare abruptly shifts gears and plunges the audience into a tragedy. So was Shakespeare really turning a comedy into a tragedy? Was he experimenting? Possibly. By setting up comic expectation and then delivering a violent, heartbreaking ending, he intensified the emotional impact, because the audience who laughed early in the play will feel the fall sharply in the end. Plus, this structure lets Shakespeare explore deeper issues, for example, racism, manipulation, trust, with a story that is both unsettling and entertaining. All this comes from Commedia dell'arte, who was widely popular in Italy, and some Commedia dell'arte troupes also performed in France, Europe and in England as well. But Shakespeare doesn't just borrow tricks from Commedia dell'arte, he pushes them to the limit. And seeing Othello from the Commedia dell'arte lens, we get a deeper understanding of the characters as well. Because the play isn't just a love story, it becomes something more. It's not just a love story gone wrong. It's a bold experiment in genre. It's a brilliant setup of comedy and chaos that swerves into tragedy. And it also paints a sharp critique of performance, race, and power. So possibly Othello isn't just a tragedy, it's Shakespeare's darkest comedy. Let me know in the comments what do you think, and stay resolute. Bye!